everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to MOOC series for EMV 521 Wastewater Management. My name is Megat Azman bin Megat Mokhtar from Center of Environmental Health and Safety Studies, Faculty of Health Sciences UiTM, Cawangan Selangor Campus, Puncak Alam. I will cover the topic legislative framework for wastewater management in Malaysia, focusing on Environmental Quality Act 1974 and related regulations. Today, we are going to cover two main learning outcomes. We hope that by the end of this lecture, all participants should be able to first identify the legislation related to wastewater management in Malaysia. And secondly, the student will be able to describe compliance requirement for wastewater management in Malaysia. Today, we are going to look at how wastewater is regulated in Malaysia. I will walk you through the key provisions in the Environmental Quality Act 1974, particularly Section 21, 25, and 29. And then we will explore the Sewage Regulation 2009. I will also touch briefly on the industrial effluent regulation just to give a complete picture of the framework. By the end, you should have a solid understanding on how the law controls wastewater discharge and treatment. The Environmental Quality Act is actually the backbone for our environmental governance. It gives the government authority to control pollutions, enforce standard and regulated any activities that might damage the environment. In the context of wastewater, it is a law that provides the legal foundations for what facilities can and cannot do. Under this act, there are two major regulations related to wastewater. The Wastewater Regulations 2009 deal with sewage treatment plant, septic tanks, and sanitation system. Meanwhile, the Industrial Effluent Regulation 2009 govern wastewater from factories and industrial facilities. We are focusing on sewage today, but it's good to understand how the pieces fit together. The Section 21 requires certain activities, especially those that may pollute, to obtain written permissions or a license from the Director General. These include facilities that handle wastewater. Essentially, it is prevent anyone from operating without proper oversight. And these sections matters because licensing creates accountability. It allows DOE to set conditions and limits before any activity begins. It also ensures operators understand their responsibilities early on instead of waiting until a problem happens. Facilities that fall under these sections must follow specific conditions. This may include abiding by discharge limits, performing routine monitoring, submitting sampling reports, and keeping their treatment system in a good working order. These conditions help ensure pollution doesn't occur unintentionally. The Section 25 is required strict. It makes it an offense to discharge any waste into inland water without written approval. This applies to rivers, drained lakes, and even coastal waters. Whether the discharge is intentionally or due to negligence, it may still be considered an offense. The implication of is simple. Facilities must treat wastewater properly before releasing. If they don't have approval or if the discharge does not meet the required standard, they are liable for enforcement actions. This protects the environment and public health. Examples include releasing untreated sewage, bypassing treatment during equipment failure, or allowing overflow because a facility wasn't maintained. Even accidentally released may fall under this section. So, operators need to be proactive. For this slide, we are looking at section 29, which deals specifically with the pollutions of Malaysian waters. The section make it an offense for anyone to contaminate rivers, lakes, coastal areas, or any recognized water body in the country. This includes both direct and indirect discharges, wherever it is industrial effluent, chemical, or any other polluting substance. In practice, this provision gives the Department of Environment the authority to step in whenever pollution occurs. They can investigate the source, instruct the responsible party to take corrective actions, and proceed with prosecution if necessary. Essentially, Section 29 acts as a protective measure to safeguard our national water resources and ensure that any activities with potential to cause harm in properly controlled. These regulations provide detailed requirement for how sewage treatment system should operate. They apply to everything from centralized treatment plant to small individual system. Their main purpose is to ensure sewage is treated safely and consistently. The regulations outline how treatment system should be operated and maintained. They cover performance requirements, preventive maintenance, and even reporting obligations. The idea is to make sure operators manage their systems responsibly. These regulations set two categories of discharge standard, known as Standard A and Standard B. Standard A applies in environmentally sensitive area, while Standard B applies elsewhere. Both specially specify maximum limit for BOD, COD, suspended solid nutrients, and pathogens. Operators must conduct routine sampling and laboratory testing to verify that their effluent meets the standard. They also need to keep proper records and make them available to DOE when required. This helps track compliance over time. Treatment system must be maintained and operated properly. This includes ensuring the equipment is functional, preventing leak or overflow and making sure no untreated sewage bypass the system. Qualified staff should always oversee plant operations. If a facility fails to meet the regulations, penalties can be imposed. These may include fine, prosecutions, or even orders to halt operations until corrective measures are taken. The goal isn't to punish, but to protect the environment and ensure proper management. Although our main focus is sewage, industrial wastewater is regulated through a separated set of regulations. These rules ensure factories treat their effluent before discharge and maintain their treatment system properly. Understanding both helps us see the full picture. When you put all these provisions together, Section 21, 25, and 29, plus the sewage and industrial effluent regulations, you get a comprehensive framework. It covers prevention control, monitoring, and enforcement. It is designed to ensure wastewater is managed responsibly from start to finish. In summary, Malaysia have a strong legal framework that governs wastewater management. This law help protect our rivers, our communities, and our environment. A good understanding of these provisions is essential for anyone working in environmental science, public health, or wastewater operations, especially environmental health professionals.